Live.
Welcome back, everyone. We are back with the Early Birds podcast here to talk about the next episode of Survivor Wisconsin, Calm versus Chaos, the penultimate episode of the season. We have some surprises to talk about tonight, but not just with the episode tonight, because we have a special guest who will join us for just a few moments of the podcast. Aleks, you look like a thumbnail right now. You're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, baby boy. Anyways, okay, let's bring out the special guest. And
come on in, guys. It's the boss himself. Welcome, Mr.
Devin,
Probst.
it's my understanding you have a couple of fun announcements you want to share regarding some future stuff.
Yeah, so I don't want to steal the show here from the Early Birds, as they've been kicking butt on these podcasts last 2 seasons. It's been great to watch and listen to. Hope you guys are enjoying this season. It's definitely probably one of my favorites. It's hard to debate between this one or New Blood, which one I like better. We'll see how it ends, and then we can give our judgment. But I just wanted to give a couple of quick announcements before the 3 early birds here, even though I'm one too, technically. Break down episode 9, another fun one as we head into the finale next week, the last one. So finales next week, Tuesday, 6 o'clock Central Time. It's going to be a longer episode. Don't know exactly how long. But then following that is kind of what I wanted to quickly talk about is we are going to do a reunion on Monday, September, I believe, 29th. Almost the whole cast will be there, which is awesome. We're still kind of in the mix of how it's going to go down. I'd like to do a live one like we did last season, but there's not really any free live streaming programs that can allow that many people. So we'll see what we're going to do. We might have to record it a day early and then have it premiere the next day so people wouldn't be able to ask live questions, which would suck. But I'm kind of looking into that to see what we can do. So we'll be doing that. And once the finale airs next Tuesday, we're going to open up a bunch of fan voting for fans to vote on. We're going to do a bunch of different polls like we did last season, I think. Hopefully Early Birds can help me with that, come up with some good good ones to ask on there. Yeah, that's a good option, Jamil. There's options to record it on that you can do a lot of people. It's more just the live option. There's not many, unfortunately, that I'm not really willing to pay, So, so that's exciting. So then those polls will open right after the finale airs next Tuesday until the reunion airs. So that'll be fun to vote on all these things. Hopefully all of Jamil's a million friends don't vote him for everything, So we'll see what happens there. So definitely vote for your favorites on what those will all be. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about quickly is, our next season's coming up soon. We film in pretty much about a month from today, Survivor Wisconsin season 9, Second Chance. We pretty much have it fully casted. These 3 don't even know who's on yet, unless people have been saying stuff to them, which I know people have been talking, and we'll see if that's going to bite them in the butt or not in the long run. But I can't stop it. But
sorry, I was just going to say that, kind of like what I usually say. You know what's happening, but we even don't this time. So
Yeah, I know people are already trying to pregame and everything, and I would love if that didn't happen, but I can't really stop it. So kind of to go in conjunction with that is also I'm going to be doing, like I've already said, a live reveal of the cast of Second Chance. My plan is to do it on that Thursday. I think it's October 2nd. So it'll be the week that reunion's out and everything. So that's the plan as of now. If it changes, I'll let everyone know on the idol.identifiers Instagram account. So that gives everybody about 2 weeks to kind of know who's on it, and hopefully not pregame more, but we'll see if that's probably going to help it more. But really excited about this season. It's going to be a 2-day event, starting Friday night. Hopefully a little soul shower to begin the game before we get into it, an hour or two to kind of get to talk to each other, even though a lot of people probably know each other somewhat. There might be some people, though, that don't, so that'll be exciting. So yeah, stay tuned. We got exciting things coming. After that season, we're going to have Heroes vs. Villains 2. We're already starting to talk about that. After that, season 11 will be all new people, hopefully for end of May, early June of 2026. I know there's a bunch of people that want to apply for that. It's going to be all new people. So I'm absolutely pumped out of my mind for that. And then 12 should be Wisconsin All-Stars in August. So, and I'll say this now, with the popularity, with this game being revived thanks to these past 2 seasons, yeah, I'll glaze you all you want. I know I said that in the chat and Jamil didn't like that, even though I was giving some praise. Yap and Jamil, that's you, buddy. But I will say New Blood and Calm vs. Chaos has revived our game completely, kind of shifted into a new era and everything. So I'm pumped out of my mind to see what's going to happen. But I will say now, I mean, we ain't going to stop at 12. We're going to keep going and see where it takes us. Especially if we get a lot of applicants for 11, it's going to want me to get more new players to our game going. So we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. And announcements wise, really excited for you all to see the end of this season, and then second chance. Hopefully these people will bring it and really, take advantage of getting called back, because usually people get called back pretty often in our past seasons, but now with it's going to be tougher. People could get lost in the mix, unfortunately, if you decline the invite, which a lot of people did already for second chance. I'd say there's probably like over 10 people that I asked that said no. So go ahead.
Sorry, I was about to ask, is there any like big names that declined for second chance you're allowed to like tell us right now, or like at least a couple names, or?
I mean that I'll give you two names, I guess. I'm on here, why not, right?
Yeah.
And these people could still get asked back, and even if you don't get asked for second chance again, don't be discouraged, because there still is possible other opportunities. There's a couple people I told that like I think we want to save for future seasons instead. And even if I didn't tell you that, like there's still possibilities. So don't be upset if you're not invited. It's been really tough to figure out who and everything. But two people that I'm really disappointed that aren't going to be able to play is Liz and Tegan, who were just recent players in Wisconsin season 5, which Aleks and Steib were on. They saw firsthand how like good she was at the game without really even knowing fully how it like completely works, I feel like. And then in Summer Solstice, Aleks played with her as well. Liz, she made it to the final 3. She was very likable and everything. I think she did very well for also not really knowing the game. So them two definitely wanted to play. The dates just don't work. So I would think they hopefully will be back in the future. They showed that they're likable. Liz was I would say more of a fan favorite style player, and Tegan I think was more. I think she won Player of the Season, I believe, if I'm correct. Am I right on that one, Richie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are two I was really upset that didn't get the call, but that opened up other opportunities, especially for other females to play that maybe I wasn't thinking about initially. So it's their lucky day to really prove and show their second chance why they should have been on in the first place. So yeah, disappointed them two aren't going to be on. But
Yeah, that's definitely a shocker. I honest to God was trying to speculate and like to myself, kind of thinking like who could be on. I was floored. I actually thought Tegan 100% was on.
Yeah, she wants to, and I think Liz does too. But I told them like, if you don't want to, like, let me know, because we're gonna have people that are gonna want to. I mean, there's people reaching out from these past 2 seasons that told me they wanted to be on, and it's like that shows a lot to me, even if I wasn't gonna consider you this time around. So
one other question I do have, and I'll pass it to Aleks and Steib because they have questions after this. Now, obviously, there's a lot of seasons we've had. We've kind of had our newer era, the Wisconsin era. Before our newer era, we've had the Whitewater era, as I'll call it. Are there any people now? Obviously, I think a big question some people may have is anyone going to be considered from the Whitewater era, or is anyone on the cast that is from the Whitewater era in any way whatsoever right now, or have all those people dropped out or been pushed off for future stuff? Or
I will say it because I think it's fair at this point. There were people asked from the Whitewater seasons. There wasn't a ton of options as you think, because I think most of the really good players from Whitewater played again a second time, and then B, I feel like the people that maybe played once that I don't really see if they would be into it. Like I just feel like majority of the people that are on this season would just run laps on strategy wise. I feel like they'd be so far behind, so I don't feel like they'd have a great chance. So there isn't really too many Whitewater people in the mix. I won't say if there is or isn't. But yeah.
Okay. So
Sorry, Jamil. Do you not want it or what?
So I hear that there's a possibility that some Whitewater may be on, but maybe not a lot of Whitewater rep.
Yeah.
So kind of giving us an answer.
I'll leave it at that.
That's a very good thing. It's a very good news thing to do. So
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask my question now, which is actually about this season. So of course you were there the whole time, being the host. But was there anything like interesting that you were caught off guard by while editing the whole season?
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that like stood out. Like I could just tell that they're gonna be, funny to watch and everything like that. But there's so much I don't see. Like, look, I'll call it the guy, that me and him got not a scuffle. I don't know what to say, like a little back and forth. But Vincent, I mean, really surprised me. I didn't really know he was that entrenched in the game strategy of what was going on, just because all I'm really seeing is what they're doing in the challenge and how they're acting at tribal council and what happens there. So I'll give Vincent props. I underestimated him. So it was cool to see how involved he was in the big majority alliance of this game. And he's definitely got a good personality, and he is pretty funny. And I didn't know all that. But yeah, that was a big surprise for me for sure. Was him, just because I didn't really get to know him, that well. So
Yeah. Steib.
I see Jamil's in the chat. Jamil says, Devin, thoughts on Queen Linda returning?
Linda, everyone's joking about her, whatever. But I heard they played a game the other day, blood on a clock tower, however you call it, and she did pretty good. Linda, I feel like she didn't enjoy her time with us, unfortunately. It didn't seem like, at least from what I saw. But I know she had more to give, and it sucks that she didn't really maybe get that chance. But at the same time, it is what it is. It's tough with the outcast twist when like you don't really fight for yourself a little bit there, is what I noticed, and it's unfortunate. I feel like maybe she would have done better if there was more females on the season too, to be honest. So
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I guess I'll throw it over to my question then, Devin.
Yeah.
As somebody who has only played and or only helped on one-day seasons, please elaborate a little bit more on the structure of this 2-day season that we're about to have in season 9, because I'm already excited, and with the stuff you've revealed tonight, like the slate is full of events. It's going to be a bright, big future for us. So hell yeah.
Oh yeah. I can definitely give you somewhat. I mean, I'll give you guys more insight soon, since you guys are involved in production. Was the pastor sauce? The pastor was freaking hilarious. I ain't gonna lie.
I've been saying that for
And
ages.
I work at a church awesome, so it made it funnier, like how you were and everything. I told you that, but so I mean, I'll give a little hint. I mean, I didn't even tell the players this yet, which I will soon. Is I plan before the game starts, which I heard one that you played in recently, Richie did, which I thought was a really good idea, is to kind of do like a social hour to begin the thing, like before the game starts, like get everybody like a time frame to come in and meet, and then during that time they'll probably do their pregame interview, their cast picture. They're able to talk to players. Stuff won't be hidden or anything, but it's a good way to kind of like, in our returnee season, like, on our new seasons lately, like the first round before the challenge, they spend all the time getting to know each other. I feel like that's where they can spend that time doing that. So then when it's time to start the game, like at a certain time, we're jumping right into it. We're not taking the time that before a challenge they have to get to know each other, So I think that social shower would be really cool. Hopefully we'll get through hold on, let me finish, and I'll answer your question. And then, hopefully we'll get through 3 or 4 rounds that first night. I mean, we're gonna get going, and I don't know what time we'll stop. We won't go till 2 in the morning or anything, but there will be a point where we did this in the past where it's like people can keep playing the game and everything, but there's a point where like production stuff, I'm not gonna make them sit there and record everything. So that's kind of on them at that point. So Richie's got the iPad. That's up to you guys. I guess we'll have to discuss that, but
I can
really
bring some
fun.
Monster Energies.
I will say this: if y'all really want me to record something of y'all, if y'all are in the cast, you want me to record something of y'all, and if I'm still up, great. If you need to wake me up, let me know. But like, don't jolt me awake, or it will not end well.
Well, yeah, and the other thing I'll add too is like I'm making the players bring sleeping bags and actually make it a little bit like Survivor. I'm not going to make them go outside and stuff. So it'll be October. It could be really cold out. But all production, we're getting beds. Sorry, but we are. So the plan would kind of be where all the players, we'll see how it's going to split up and everything with tribes, if it's 2 or 3 tribes or everything. But I'm going to make them sleep in sleeping bags and stuff the first night. Second night, obviously the game will be done by then. So it is what it is. But it's going to be fun. I mean, there's still going to be twists and stuff, but this is really going to be about, the gameplay and the characters making it their own. There's stuff that you might see get brought back that we haven't brought back in a long time. Maybe in a Whitewater season 7 that we had it in there. Just that's a little hint I'll give you. And, to add to having the extra time, the rounds should be longer. I mean, there'll still be rounds where like it's going to be somewhat quicker, but it's going to be chaotic. We'll see how people are going to bring back. Still in discussing, there might be a comeback challenge. There might not be. You guys will find out the day of when you show up. But all the players that know they've gotten asked, majority of them have. There's still potentially 1 or 2 spots that me and Christian have been debating about if we add them in or not, or if they're going to give us an answer back. But, I'll let the people know, like, what color they should be bringing and everything and what time they should be coming. But, it's going to be starting, the game probably at, like, 7-ish. And then we're going to hopefully get done by 7-ish the next night. So, and have a little after party at the Airbnb. But we got to behave ourselves. So.
I wasn't the one doing pull-ups on the railing of the second balcony, making it shake. That was Hunter, not me. I will say that right now.
Well, Hunter will not be there this time, so don't worry about that.
Okay. Less important, because I had a different question, but I think you kind of answered it already.
Okay.
Are we able to have? So I have a different question. Are we able to at least get a special sneak peek at like the colors for this season of Second Chance?
Oh yeah, yep. So the logo has been kind of posted what it is. So it's going to be like turquoise and then purple. There might be a third color involved. I'm not going to reveal that part yet, but since these people love to pregame so hard already, I'm probably going to tell people to bring both colors and not reveal their tribes till the day of. I think if I like that. If in the live, when I reveal the cast, if I tell what the tribes are, or if I tell the people over text beforehand what color to bring, I know people are going to tell each other. So I think bringing both is probably our plan. So
yeah, smart.
people that they know they're playing that are watching this, and I'll still let the people know that didn't watch this that are playing, definitely bring some form of turquoise or purple to wear, because it's going to be an epic 2-day season, pretty much day and a half. So it's going to be a great time. And this went longer than I thought, but I think it's good to give the viewers, a little tease here on a short episode tonight.
And I do want to say, this is the first 2-day multi-day season we've done in ours since Legends. Yep. I know that was a hell of a time, Hopefully, Final Tribal won't end at like 1 a.m. like that one, right?
I don't think it will. I mean, it's not going to be. I mean, this is, I guess, a spoiler kind of, but it's not going to be 2019 people like that season. So, it will be, you can figure out what it might be then. So it shouldn't get done at that point. I'm hoping that we can get done by like 7 or 8, on that Saturday. Cause we'll probably start somewhat early. We're not going to start like 5 a.m. on Saturday morning, but hopefully by like 9 or 10 or something. So we can, take advantage of having extra time. Yeah, Nick, I'm not going to reveal that then. I'm not going to reveal that till like after the social hour, like right when we're like the game starting. And then I'm going to say, we'll probably have Richie come out or something and say, this is the tribe you're on. And then people have to change into their colors then. I think that's probably the plan. So
right. That'd be
exciting. I'm pumped.
That'd be exciting.
It really is exciting.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, and didn't mean to take over this podcast too much, but I feel like it's fun to talk about all this stuff. But I know a lot of people from our past 2 seasons, and I think some of you guys are going to be going to Milwaukee next Wednesday for the premiere of Sorry 49. So if you're watching this and you're not coming, you better be there. Be a little mini reunion, pretty much. It'll be fun to kind of see everybody there. I'm going to have my Converse Chaos shirt on. Got to do some promoting to people that might want to play in the future. So I hope whoever comes, feel free to say hi to me or whatever, and say hi to us if you guys are going to go too. So
yeah. I'm going to be there.
I'll be wearing my bandana as well. Not this one, of course. It's this one right here, actually.
There you go. Maybe you'll get one in a couple seasons away. Hey, Aleks.
Oh shit. Cool.
Yeah, we already know I'm getting mine in like a couple seasons, so I only have to wait like 6 months, right?
Richie. So is it safe to say? Are you free for the next season, season 10, season 20? Let's do the official invite live in here. Richie, are you coming back for Survivor Wisconsin season 10 or 20th overall season, Heroes vs. Villains 2? Are you coming back on the Villains?
You damn well know I am. You leaked me out over a year ago, I'm like Sari Fields up in this bitch. Like, I'm coming back in. I want the gold crown that I haven't gotten yet, so I want my damn crown. I'm going to come to the reunion and a little tiara like Sandra and be like, I'm the king. King stays king. How about that?
Anybody but me, right?
Anyone but me, right? And I really wish I would have learned that 2 weeks ago. That should have really been. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much into that, but there's some interesting things I've heard so far that you said a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I might have leaked a thing or two, but we'll probably do a live reveal for that one too. I think will be fun. So there'll be a little bit of break in between 9 and 10, which will be good, so I can rest up before we have 3 big ones next year. But I'm absolutely pumped. So 9, you guys better bring it. Put on a good show. I know most people playing know how to do that, so I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about episode 9 though. Hey, come on.
There we go. Good segue. Good segue.
Hell yes.
Good segue. Thanks for all the information, Devin. That was really fun information.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you all later, and stay on and listen to this breakdown because it was a fun episode still. So see you guys.
Hell yeah.
All right. See you,
All right. Thanks, Devin. Thanks for joining us. All right. Wow. So that's a lot of fun information.
20 minutes in, and now we're breaking it down. 20 minutes in. Let's go.
And now we have even more. Now we have even more to break down. This is great.
Now we have even more
I'm so excited.
All right. Wow,
I'm so excited already.
Although I am saying I'm very still shocked about Liz and Tegan because I full on had a lot of hopes on them coming back.
Yeah,
so
but Liz is a villain though,
Aleks, I'm gonna hit you.
Oh no. Here we go again.
That with me tomorrow. I'm gonna bonk on your head, you little bitch. Sorry. Anyways. Anything we want to talk? So just the episode in general, though, episode 9, and we will answer questions from what we are allowed to talk about with this, from what we know and are allowed to talk about at the end in our live question segment. So is there for the episode as a whole right now? Very entertaining episode, despite being definitely a shorter episode, albeit penultimate episode is usually a little shorter. I definitely think it was very interesting how much strategy was able to be seen despite them not having, I shouldn't say a lot of it showcased. There was a lot of it showcased, obviously, but I don't know. Aleks, Steib, what do you guys want to talk about? The episode?
We start off the episode actually at Ponderosa looking at Killer just got voted off and she's talking with Tony, Jamil, and Jake about the whole rock draw and just in general her main vote off and just Jamil being like, my jaw was on the floor when I saw you pull the blue rock. And then we get a flashback to her pulling the blue rock and revealing it too early. So it's not a lot of interesting dialogue between them, but it is kind of fun to see a glimpse into what the jury has to say about just stuff before we actually get to Final Tribal. But yeah, it was a good little sneak peek to in general of what the jury thinks, and I like it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's very fun to see the jurors get a little bit of extra content to be able to talk amongst themselves and figure out who they could potentially vote to win the game. Of course, at this moment, there is still 6 people left, so there's still 3 more jury spots to fill out. So, yeah, it was pretty funny watching Kayla talk about the little fiasco with the rock or the ball, but it actually did pay off that she did have the right rock, because I mean, if she pulled it and she already had it, the result was the same regardless. So it kind of worked out that way. It was unfortunate that she left that way, and it's unfortunate she didn't get voted out, but it was a memorable moment.
It was.
Yeah, I definitely think Kayla's rock draw. I think I said last time she was the 5th person, if I recall correctly, of our Survivor Series to leave via rock draw. First one being Ben in our first Whitewater season, all the way back there. Second one, I believe, was Hunter in Battle Royale, actually. He got taken out the final 6, and there was a spot where I think he, more likely not from what I heard, gets to the end and all the finals for a 3rd time in a row if he doesn't get rocked out at 6. Third was Emily and Fans vs. Favorites at the 2nd tribal of the season, which was hysterically how that early, but then it was Caitlin, I believe, in One World 2, and now Kayla has joined that club. So kind of seeing a bit of the aftermath, all sorts of stuff with that was definitely very fun to watch. And it always is fun to get some pre-jury content. My phone was dead for half the day, so I wanted to try to get more, but I wasn't able to because my phone was dead, Thanks, Steve Jobs. Anyways, anything we want to talk more about with this before we get into the next party episode?
No. I think the only thing that I found interesting was Tony saying that he had a strong alliance with Jimmy and Sam, and then sort of with Nolan. And I'll get more into Nolan because he really kind of shined in this episode as well. I'll get more into it as well after we get to the post challenge scramble. But yeah, I found it interesting how he also mentioned Nolan as well into his because for me, watching it, him and Jimmy were tight, of course, and then of course Sam being with Jimmy was kind of like that main three right there. So I did find it funny how he actually also added a Nolan into that as well. So I'll get more into it later. But yeah, I found it kind of interesting. But yeah, that's really it for me for the pre-challenge talk.
Steib, what do you got to add on to what we said?
No, I think what Aleks said there was very interesting, and yeah, it was fun, interesting Ponderosa content that we got at the start of the episode. But I'm a little biased, but I'm certainly ready to talk about this upcoming challenge.
Yeah, I think you are.
Just look at my title.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, if you guys want, Steib, I think I'll let you explain this challenge since this is has some sentiment for you. I think I'll let you do this one.
Yes, please. So it's a fairly simple challenge at the end of the day. Devin reads out certain colors. Everybody has the same colored like little postcards, and they're supposed to hold them up in the order, in the sequence that he calls out. He has all these different sequences and all these different orders, and it's a very mental, fun challenge. And if you haven't seen season 5 of Survivor Wisconsin, Captain's Curse, you would see in the finale episode when I was still around, I actually won the first immunity challenge of that episode, and that was this very challenge. And I just got to say, watching some of these people remaining today getting eliminated this easily, I could tell that these people have never played Call of Duty Black Ops 1. These people have never played the Zombies map Moon, because on that moon map, they have the same challenge where you got to recite the colors back and forth. I've been reciting colors for like 15 damn years. So of course you knew I was going to win that challenge in season 5. And I was so excited to see this challenge back.
Ow. You also haven't played Simon, clearly. And yes, I did just hurt my foot trying to get this for this bit.
Yeah. You know what? I found it pretty cool how with that challenge this time around, it went to the final like a line of colors that Devin had on his paper, and it was really fun to watch as well, because like I was behind him kind of watching his paper, and like it gets longer and longer each time. Like, so I was really impressed with Jimmy and Vinny both doing so well in that challenge, because like I tapped out I think at like the 6th sequence, so I wouldn't have won that challenge at all. I suck at memory, but yeah, like that was really fun to watch, and like props to, I won't reveal the winner yet, but just props to the winner, because like that was really challenging for me even watching it to memorize all those colors.
Yeah, I definitely think this is a fun challenge. From my recollection, I believe we've only done this challenge like twice, maybe 3 times before this season. I know it was definitely in Captain's Curse was the most prominent use of it. I remember it was in Last Chance. I don't recall it, but if you guys want to prove me wrong, go watch our past seasons, go watch our past episodes, like what the fuck are you doing here if you didn't watch the last episode, guys? Come on. Definitely is a fun challenge though. Definitely is very fun to watch. So I'm trying to think. Legends? Yeah, it wasn't Legends. Yeah, I knew there was one I was forgetting because it was after I got voted off, because those lemmings were just so smart to vote me off and then suddenly not have allies after they got voted off. But, they wanted to be cruel. Anything we want to say about this challenge before we reveal who won it?
Not really. It's a pretty straightforward challenge, and like it's really just all memory based, which is pretty cool, because like I do like how Devin still mixes up challenges that are not just like strength, and like he does a really good job with that, and like bringing back a challenge that we've not seen since Captain's Curse is a pretty cool little twist on the thing, because I think it's been like 3 seasons now, 2 seasons without it, so it's a good break from it, and I do like how he brings it back like not too often as well. So yeah, I really have no other comments other than let's get to the winner. Yeah. But
of course I love this challenge, of course, but no, it is, like you said, it is fun to have the varying types of challenges, mental and physical and endurance and solving puzzles and all these sorts of different things. And in a challenge like this, it doesn't take much to mishear something or get something switched up in your head, and then you put up the wrong card and then you're out. So no, it is a fair challenge, and it could go to anybody who could pay attention hard enough and focus hard enough. And yeah, let's get to the winner.
Alrighty. Well, the winner of this challenge, Jimmy, the pastor, has won immunity again. I believe it's his second now, right?
Yeah, back to back.
Oh!
So, yeah, definitely really fun. Obviously, Jimmy's given us a lot of great fun content. He's a great player from what we've seen so far up to this point. So honestly, Jimmy winning this, I'm ecstatic for it. What do you guys think about Jimmy winning?
Yeah, Jimmy right now is sitting pretty good right now. Sure, like his name would have been on the chopping block both times he's won immunity. So him on this run right now is really helping his game, and like he is with that necklace around his neck, he is getting a lot of good bonds right now because his name is not being thrown out there at all, which is like the best time to be on a run right now like this is right now, because like anybody's name is can't get popped up, and like right now Jimmy's sitting really good, but he's also making himself a really big threat now because he's just won back-to-back challenges. So it is like good at it's like a double-edged sword. It's good to win and get more bonds, but it's also bad because now you're probably one of the bigger threats in the game now. So yeah, good for him. Really great win at a great time as well. So
yes, absolutely. It's a very big win for Father James, for King James. He's a man of many names. Yes, Wolf Lion, Jimmy, they have many names. But it's his second win back to back in immunity challenges, and that's fantastic on paper, and that's fantastic for him. I mean, look at what he was able to do with the rock draw in the last episode, and here he is again, and here he is safe again. And it is, like you said, it's fair because he is going to be winning this challenge. He's safe to the top 5, but you've got to imagine whoever else makes it to that top 5, they're looking at Jimmy a little differently, thinking, yeah, that's a big threat right there. So yes, all props to Jimmy for getting the win here. And yeah, no, it was a fun challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, this challenge definitely is always a very fun challenge, and in terms of like just in how it can really go to anyone, and that's something I really do enjoy. So I mean, I don't know if there's really too much else to talk about unless you guys want to talk more about it, but I think we could just go right into the pre-tribal antics.
I do want to shout out Vinny though for kind of sticking in the whole challenge as well. Like Vinny did a really great job as well with that challenge, and just shout out to Vinny because again, I couldn't do that at all. So gotta give props to him because he really stuck in there as well and was so close to winning as well.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's a good point too, because this challenge went way longer than the challenge went in Captain's Curse in our season. So yes, that was it was certainly a lot more difficult with a lot more sequences and a lot more different colors to remember at one given time. And yeah, Vincent did come really close, and yeah, that should be recognized. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that just means we need to make it a bit more longer next time now,
I mean, it was longer than a food challenge in Legends, so I mean,
next time we'll do animals. Rhino, dog,
we need to
wolf,
literally bring that food challenge back. It's like I said, I think the challenges for Second Chance need to be like challenges we've only done once. Like,
yeah,
that'd be so fun. Sorry, I keep saying that too much. But I started thinking about the food challenge because Devin talked about food, and so I started thinking about that challenge. Fucking beat.
All right.
So
are we good to go into the?
Yeah,
pre-tribal antics. So I'll kind of summarize it. Then we'll all talk about more in the deeper details of it, where very quickly becomes Quentin versus Joe. They're both trying to save their asses, trying to keep themselves safe. But Joe has an idol, but I don't think many people are fully aware of it. I think, kind of believe Kayla walked out the door or something. Vince is trying to continue to push his Jimmy versus Quentin sentiment to keep everyone off of him, which I think is a very good thing to do. Obviously, it definitely works very well. And Nolan is definitely trying to take power Sam has his idol, like Diva Sam from last episode, as Kayla and I called him, like Diva Sam's trying to, I guess, kind of continue his revenge plan for what happened with the Tony vote borderline, I feel like, and there's probably a lot more. I'll pass on to you, Aleks, because I know you got a lot of thoughts. I can see the gears turning in your head, so,
Yeah, I do want to highlight Nolan, because this episode was really a big what is our final three looking like right now? That was the main theme of the episode, was who is our final three, and who do you want to keep in? Do you want to keep in Quentin or Joe, and where do we go from there if we take out one of the two people? And every person who was talking about the final three always brought up Nolan, and that is such a good spot to be in right now for Nolan, because everybody wants to take him to the end. People don't see him as a big threat right now. Well, kind of looking at his game right now, he has done a lot of under the radar things, which really is highlighted in the episodes. So it is pretty cool how people think he's not played a good game, and then, of course, seeing it in the actual video, he's done a pretty good job of talking with people. So it is pretty cool to see how everybody wants to take him to the final three, and how they just don't see him as a threat in the end.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there, Aleks. Yeah, Nolan is playing a fantastic game, and he has played a fantastic game up to this point. I mean, hell, that's why he's still here. And to be able to be in that conversation and to have those relationships with these people and to try and make it further in the game like that, that's big news for him. And yeah, that absolutely should be recognized. It is quite the scramble between, at least on the surface, between Quentin and Joe, considering they're probably the two names that are towards the bottom of the remaining six. And as we know, there are advantages still at play that actually have deadlines to be played at this very tribal council. So it may already be made up in some ways. But yeah, what do you got to say, Richie?
I definitely like that. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant, but I assume we're just talking about in general, the pre-tribal shenanigans. I do think it's very smart of Vince to try to push for this guy versus this guy, trying to go up to both of them, get them against each other, because if they're so focused on each other, the big dog is going to start ripping each other's throats out. They're not going to go focus on you at all. I think I've told people that was my plan one season, and you have to do it. You finesse it in a certain way to get it to work. So it's very hard to get it to work, but Vince showed that if you can get it to work, you can get it to work. Because I think at one point his name was uttered, but did he get a vote of tribal council? No, Vince did not. And I mean, Vince at this point after this episode only has, I think, 2 or 3 rounds, depending on if it's a final 3 or 2, before he's at the finals, should he even get to that point. So as long as he's able to make sure people don't see him as that threat.
Yeah, he's playing right now such a good social game. And is of course he might, who knows if he's actually not trying to be good at challenges, but him not winning this challenge is probably way better than him winning the challenge, because he has not really done a lot of good in the challenges really, but he's always stayed in the challenge. So he's not, people aren't really seeing him be he's just, throwing a challenge. He's really doing a good job of getting far, but not getting too far in challenges to kind of highlight him as a big threat. He is also playing one of the best under the radar games I've seen in a while. Because it is really cool seeing how well he's kind of navigating this game, and sure, he's being the funny guy, but he's also doing a really good job of creating these bonds that will take him to the end if he makes it there.
Right, and definitely it's sorry, Steib, I didn't want to interrupt you. I was just
going
to say
go ahead.
Something that I mean, being the one of us through who's been to the finals and pissed everyone off getting there, one of the most important parts of the game that everyone seems to forget is the social aspect. And although it is a little harder to do that in a one-day game like this, I definitely have to applaud Vince for getting everyone to like him to a point where they all like him. They know he's a lovable guy, but yet none of them are going after him. At this point in the game, I would honestly want to put and I remember even watching it in the time being, I was thinking Vince is just as much of a front runner as any of the others left are to win. And that's something I really like about the season is that really any one of them could win. Obviously, only one of them can win, but any of them have their own reasons to win. And I think Vince is definitely one of the stronger candidates at this moment from what we've been seeing in this episode. So who knows? I mean, we know, but you guys don't. So, Sorry, Steib, I didn't want to interrupt you. I'll pass it back to you.
No worries. But they'll find out soon enough on Tuesday, and I'm excited. I'm so excited for all the things we have lined up, the finale on Tuesday, and then future reunion and future reveals, and just even more seasons to come. Like, this game is getting really exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of it with y'all. And thanks to everybody that's tuned in right now watching us. We're having a great time. Going back to Vincent, like you said, he's playing a very under the radar game, and I think it's I think there's a lot of avenues, not just for him, but for anybody really remaining in the game, if they wanted to spin their perceptions of themselves onto others, and they're able to build these relationships and potentially target other people, as we see. I think it's very interesting to see a very open season as it was coined in the last episode. So it's very fun. It's a very fun part of the game right now. And as far as Vincent, yes, he's playing a very under the radar game, and he's able to take second place in this challenge. And I think that's kind of a good thing, because as somebody, I don't think he's won a challenge up to this point. And to be able to come close and at least stay in the competition and prove that you can be a good player of the game, not just in the social aspect, but in the literal challenge aspect too. That's very good marks for Vincent.
Yeah, totally agree. I do want to bounce back to.
Yeah, definitely do.
I do want to bounce back to Joe, because Joe's been again a really sneaky player, even though he's not really trying to be a sneaky player either. Like, he's sitting comfy right now, even though he's not really sitting comfy in a way. Like, he held onto that idol when he got 4 votes to his name. So when Quentin hears that he might have an idol, he's like, no way, because he would have played the last round. So it is a really good hold by Joe not playing that idol. And of course, we do see him play the idol this round, which is fair, because his name was thrown out there with Quentin's name as well. But like, him holding that idol and making people think, oh, no way he has an idol because of the last round, is a really good hold. And I do want to give Joe props for that, because that is that's balls of steel right there. That is some really great hold. Yeah, like, we've seen really great holds of idols this season as well, with Kayla and now Joe. So like,
and even Nolan holding the extra vote advantage. But yes,
and even Sam holding his idol.
No. You mean Nelson? You mean Nelson?
Nelson,
yeah.
Thank you.
Even Sam holding his idol, even though he was freaking out the whole season.
They're thinking of voting Sam. I'm Sam. Oh,
yeah. Okay. Well, no. Here's the thing. I don't blame Sam for being paranoid with an idol in his pocket, because I think he's at this point in the game, it's been very well showcased that a lot of unpredictable votes have gone down. Some big blindsides here and there have happened. I wouldn't really be that. Like, I mean, I've had an idol. So, like, I've been in that spot of, you're paranoid, you want to guarantee yourself safety one more round, regardless whether or not it's you. I don't, blame anyone for getting paranoid. It's a part of the game. So, it's how you handle your paranoia, and even I haven't handled it that well in some of my past seasons.
True, but I do like Nolan just saying, I do like Nolan's confessional about Sam, like, your name's not been thrown out there once and you're panicking about your damn idol. It was the funniest thing ever.
I mean, people lie. You never know.
True, but just Nolan's confessional about that is just the funniest.
Yeah, no, it was funny. I will say, Nolan is definitely getting a lot of fun content as well, and he's kind of like an all-around character. And even like this episode, we see Nolan and Sam make a deal, going to work with each other until the end type of deal, like an endgame pact, to where Nolan's flat out like, oh, I'm gonna work with Sam, and like, I just kind of him almost mocking that deal was a little funny in some ways, and just kind of like.
But yet again, Nolan getting another Final 3 deal with somebody.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, he's really doing a good job with his ground game, with just navigating and making these tight bonds, even though they're not really tight, but
Final 2 or 3 deals,
around at least.
Well, and it's like right now, it seems like Nolan has a good chance at getting to the end. From what we're seeing right now, he has a good chance at getting to the end with almost everyone at this point in time, I feel like. So the fact that he's at that point, that's phenomenally good at this point in the game. You want, like, very few players in our past seasons have been in that point where they're guaranteed an endgame spot with everyone left. Like, you have to finesse the social game really good to get people to trust you like that. So, I mean, I can definitely think of a few people like Mad Game Fans versus Favorites, Leon Blood versus Water. There's a lot of other examples I'm not going to throw out there because it would take too much time. But, I mean, it's really good that Nolan is doing that. And, yeah, I'll pass back to you guys. Sorry, I didn't want to take over and interrupt you guys.
No, I was basically done. I was just, yeah, I'm basically done.
Yeah. I'll continue from your point. Joe is playing the poker game really well, as I alluded to this game of Survivor kind of being like a poker game in our last breakdown. It's really a game of taking all the information and all the power and possibly advantages that you have and getting the most out of it that you can. And for him to be able to hold on to that idol in that last episode, get tied, get saved by the rock draw twist, and hold on to that idol for now to be able to really secure his spot for the final five. It's brilliant. And it's also brilliant to see Joe play the poker game and remain that and keep that same, those same feelings that you think he would, being in this position of being towards the bottom of the remaining six. But, in his head, he's like, I got the idol, I'm fine. It's good to see. It's great to see Joe in this position right now.
Yeah, and we do kind of see like the contrast between Kayla and Joe, kind of where Joe has just been kind of just interweaving himself into these conversations with everybody from the old Yellow Tribe, and then we see Kayla just running around frantically finding idols and like not really building a lot of trust with these people. Like, I know she had Jimmy for a while, and I think Sam as well for a while, but that bond didn't really last long enough for her. But we see Joe doing a really good job of just kind of calmly going through, which makes sense why he's on the Calm Tribe, but just like calmly winding through these like mazes of like conversations. So I do give props to him for that, because like that it takes a lot of really good gameplay for him to kind of, because he's been through it the whole season as well, but him just kind of going slow now and just kind of not really rushing with a lot of his thoughts and not really speaking out of turn either. So Joe's doing a really good job right now in the post merge.
Right. However, I do think people are starting to recognize. Nolan even called it out at this point in the episode that currently up to this point, most of the jury is former Falemu, people who were initially on the same tribe as Joe.
Yep.
And depending on if it's a final 2 or 3, there's going to be 7 or 8 people in that jury. If it's a 7-person jury, the former Falemus have pretty much almost half the votes. And same thing for if it's an 8-person jury. So, it's definitely very interesting to think about, like, that they are starting to look ahead to the end game and realizing, like, hey, like, if there's only 2 to 3 spots in the finale, how many of these jurors are realistically going to vote for this person over me? And that's kind of what you do need to start thinking about at this point in the end game. And it's a lot. Didn't work out for me when I tried, but it definitely is very interesting to try to speculate. And I do love seeing some of these people really start to strategize and recognize, like, hey, like, I guess like these people may not be as good for my game as I think they could be, but still try to see if they can work with them anyways until they've drained every last bit that they can get out of them. So,
Yeah, and that does make a big threat. It does make him a big threat, and I do agree that like Nolan bringing that up is a really good drive to vote for Joe. But we have not talked about Quentin yet, and I feel like Quentin right now, he thinks he's, again, I think Nolan said that, like, he thinks he is running the game a bit, but as we see, he's not really doing a good job of keeping those bonds tight with the other side of the Yellow Tribe, because Jimmy and Sam have both kind of like lost trust in Quentin, and then literally the whole catalyst was the Tony vote, and that vote has really kind of shifted up how the game has been going, and I do feel like that vote is going to hurt people in the long run, and maybe it was too early to get out Tony, but you've got to build a resume somehow in this game, and getting a Tony out
to get out Tony. Is that what you just said? No, I'm joking with you. I know.
Two-turn Tony.
Yeah, but Quentin
he got 2 turns out of the
early.
bench. Sorry.
Dude, let me finish.
I was.
But because it was during the double tribal, so maybe one more round after that where you do have time to kind of make this thing happen with, getting Jimmy to understand where they're coming from, getting Sam to understand where they're coming from, and to not, alienate, your whole self away from those two. Would have been probably a better chance to take him out then. But again, this is a fast-paced game, so you can't really linger on the thought for too long. You do have to spit it out, and that's probably why Quentin has been put on the bottom of this merge tribe now, since of course that Tony vote off. So he does have to crawl back a lot, but he is kind of on the outs.
Yep, and to pivot off of that, that we're coming off of 2 very pivotal eliminations when we think about it, because as you said, that Tony vote really drew lines in the sand, and beyond that, it was evenly split at 4-4 with the extra vote, of course, and it was very interesting to see these players just say, you know what, I'm going to let fate decide this game for us, and it was a very pivotal result when Kayla got the bad rock and she got eliminated from the game. Richie runs the U.S. Survivor What If YouTube channel. I might need to start a Survivor Wisconsin or Survivor Whitewater What If channel. And maybe the first thing I could think of is what would happen if Kayla was the one who didn't draw that ball? Because as Jimmy said, Sam was looking to potentially work with people like Nolan and Vincent later in the game. And for him to take that chance of 75% not working out, that's a big risk, and that's certainly something to ponder. And who knows where Quinton's game could be if some of these events went a little differently.
Yeah, I definitely 100% agree with pretty much agree with all of that. Sorry, I was laughing at a comment someone put up a while ago. I was laughing really hard at that, so I'm trying to compose myself. So gosh damn it.
I guess I'll keep talking then.
What?
Okay. I think we
Who haven't we talked about yet?
Yeah, I think we talked about a lot of the stuff that has happened.
Should we talk about Sam?
Yeah, I don't think we really talked about Sam or Quentin much this recap so far.
Quentin. We're not listening the whole time I was talking about Quentin and how
I know. I just wanted to hear you say that.
Yeah. Mention Quentin then. Again, feel free, Richie, even though you've been looking at the comments for the past 2 minutes.
Chat's popping off, and we love everybody in the chat. Thanks for being here.
Jealous I'm looking at you guys in the comments and not at Aleks. But seriously, though, thank you guys for commenting tonight. We're glad you guys are here watching this episode, commenting along with us. We're very glad and we're very grateful you're here. Even if Aleks is getting jealous, I'm giving you guys more attention than him right now. So, Dan, you know what's funny?
I'm trying to do a podcast here.
What?
I'm trying to do a podcast. You're breaking down the episode.
I am trying to do a podcast. I'm trying to also say something that was actually relevant to the episode. Now you interrupted me. So
go ahead.
You happy about it?
You've had the floor for 2 minutes now. So
because I tried to compose myself. I was going to let you talk, and then you started interrupting me, Aleks. Okay, so I will talk. I do think Quentin does a really good job throughout this episode of trying to save himself. There's a lot of I mean, he does pretty much know he is on the bottom. He has a lot of awareness. And I think there was even talk where I think he was considering about, if he made the Tony move too early, trying to look back. And Matt Kennel.
Hi, Matty Ice.
Hi, Matty Ice. Sorry, jokes aside. Anyways, yeah, I do think it's very interesting to kind of see Quentin start to realize, he's on the bottom. He might be screwed this episode. And I do think Quentin does do a really good job of trying to rally up his allies and try to guarantee himself safety. We know how that ends up by the end of the episode, but, Quentin definitely has a lot of very strong gameplay this episode. So, I think I'll just pass it off to you guys because there's anything you guys want to say before we just go straight to tribal. Because I feel like we've talked a lot about the pre-tribal stuff.
Go ahead, Steib.
Yeah, I was the one that kind of coined it before, so I'll get us started with a little more talking about Sam. For him to hold on to that original Vevese immunity idol from the very beginning, when when everybody was kicking around in the wood chips, and he found it right there next to Jimmy and Nolan, haha. But for him to be able to get kind of caught with that in broad daylight, and for people to very well know, like, he's still got the idol. It's very interesting for him to hold on to that as long as he did, and to be able to secure his spot in the game. And we'll get to the reveal of it in a little bit when we talk about the tribal. But yeah, no, I think Sam is sitting in a very good position as well. He's trying to position himself to try and win the game like anybody else. So he's going to use that advantage that he was holding on for so long to secure the top 5. And then he's just going to, he's got to rely on these relationships that he's built and try to make it into that as far as he can.
On that note, I think it's time for tribal.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's time for tribal. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. We get to we got the tribal council. I think there is definitely some interesting things actually with this tribal council, like Sam basically revealing his idol. Like, he basically kind of pulls out, I was like, oh, what's this? You know, and this was a very fun moment for Sam of his little idol reveal. Kind of trying to put it on his face and just not working out that well, you know, and it's kind of I do think it's kind of funny. Everyone kind of knew he had it at that point, but it's still kind of funny to watch it happen. So, I mean,
before we move on, I do want to highlight one more thing. Jimmy, Sam, and Joe made a final 3 deal kind of as well, because they all had part of this episode as well. So, like, they thought, hey, right here, final 3, you know, we're all safe for this round.
Yeah. No, it's a very good position for all 3 of them to be, of course. And yeah, like as I was saying before, a lot of people already knew Sam had this idol, and the fact that he was able to make it this far and not get it flushed out is incredible. So yeah, at that point, when everybody kind of knows, you might as well make it public. You might as well have a little fun with it. So the Pringles can was a nice touch, and yeah, I'll have to get a little creative for if I were to ever come back and if I were to ever find an idol like that, how would I reveal that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I found an idol, but like everyone kind of knew about it because I screamed loudly when I got it. So I mean, I did a horrible job hiding it.
I found an idol and no one fucking knew. Not even Devin.
You didn't even know you found an idol.
Yeah, I was like, is this real?
I was there with you when you found it, and you were like, "What is this?" And like, I had to stay quiet because I actually made the idol.
It's a piece of cardboard with a 5, and it's painted.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be like a gold balloon because it was pirate themed. But actually, fun fact, I just want to quickly say this, and then we'll go back to the episode. Less than 30 seconds. There were multiple idol designs I painted. One was like a blood droplet shape. One was like a little shape of a skull. There was a backup, I think, on the backup idols for something else. We had to fall back into something else that I had also prepped. But I'll show some other time. And then there were like the gold coins. So they were like the balloons. That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry.
No, that's fair. And my game was kind of cursed in a lot of ways, as people who watch season 5 would know. And if you haven't watched season 5, go watch it after we're done here, please.
All right. So back to Tribal Council. There was a final 3 deal with Joe, Jimmy, and
Sam.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew that. I just wanted to hear you, make sure you.
Yeah, I forgot to mention
yes,
that.
Make sure we're paying attention.
Scramble was going on because that's a really cool little trio with who held almost all the power in this game as well. This tribal. So
right, and I kind of feel like a good. Sorry, I don't want to. I just want to say I feel like this is almost like an aftermath. Where it's kind of like the last episode was almost like. I don't want to call it the climax of the season, but it kind of felt like an after effect of the episode 7. Episode 9 almost feels like an after effect of episode 8's events with both Tony and Kayla's eliminations from the game. Almost feel like it was leading to this episode now. So I do think it's kind of interesting. So what were we going to say? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's it. I was just saying how it was a cool little insight about how Joe again working his way into these alliances, even though he's the last Filemu player left standing. He's still working his way into final 3 deals and like just final 2 deals. So it is pretty good on his part. And I'm glad he actually, won his way back into the game because we get to see a lot of Joe now, which is great.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree with you there. It's fantastic to see Joe's resurgence in the game after coming back from that outcast twist. And yeah, especially the results of the Tony double tribal blindside. He was able to work his way in with people like Jimmy and people like Sam, and work his way into those alliances and get further. So yeah, props to Joe.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else at tribal that was really notable. It was just a lot of answering Devin's questions and being all kind of like not say much really.
Right, which I mean, at this point, the end of the game, I do kind of am surprised that a lot of people weren't more, I don't want to say openly talking about like their plans and how they're aware like, hey, it's the end game. We're all having our plans to get to the end game. Like, we've all been in that spot, at least a final 5, 6. We've been in end game territory before at least once. So, I mean, I think it's kind of very obvious that, like, to the end, everyone's already thinking about it. I think this is the first time in a while no one's just flat out called out, like, hey, we're all thinking it. Like, let's just get it out there. We're all thinking of our final plans. So, I don't know. I do think it's kind of interesting. Everyone was more calm in what is usually a very chaotic portion of the game. So, do we want to just get to
plug.
Oh, sorry. Go first. I hear you first.
No, I just said nice plug of the season title. No, I think we're ready to get to the reveal.
All right.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, 12th person going out of the game. 5th member of the jury by vote of 5-0. Quentin joins the jury, is voted out this episode, and it's actually a little surprising seeing Quentin go out after having a pretty strong couple of episodes that a lot of people probably would have thought was setting himself up for a very well-deserved win at the end. But unfortunately, I think Quentin just again, there were some times where I feel like Quentin was trying to get them to push for certain people over other targets. But unfortunately, Nolan and Vince would try to say, like, I don't know if I want to go for them. And then I kind of feel like a lot of people not listening to Quentin almost lead to his downfall, I feel like, at times. But Quentin going out here, I don't know. It feels a little abrupt, but very expected at the same time. So, I mean, as I feel like we've kind of seen it up to this point where from the original Vivesses, even though, like, Joe also plays his idol at this point in time, only to get a single vote. Sam, I believe, plays his idol still, correct?
Yep.
Sorry. But yeah, I feel like out of the Vivesses, it's very clear that it's like who was kind of in the top of that tribe for most of that game and which people in Vivesse were kind of closer to each other for most of the game. So it's kind of like, I don't know. And obviously stuff they change after the merge, but I don't know. What do you have to say about
again, it's all because that damn Tony vote that Quentin kind of fell into this trap of being a big time player. He peaked a bit too early, which always sucks. And it's like you do want to get a good resume. It's just he played his resume building a bit too early. And of course, fast-paced game. Of course, you want to get your resume kind of built and finalized before Final 5 really hits in, because it's just 1, 2, 3, and then you're back, and then you're having into the finals then. So good on Quentin, kind of realizing that a big move is going to happen, and he took it. But then he kind of failed to realize, like, oh crap! Now we drew a line in the old Chaos Tribe, and now like he's on the bottom of the numbers then going into final 6. So yeah,
right. And to be fair to Quentin, I mean, you do also have to make big moves in this game to guarantee yourself the best shot going forward into the end. Like, you can play a quieter game, but even like every winner we've ever had, has had at least one massive move. Like Taylor's big move, I would argue, last season was helping to blindside Kira and helping to push for the Ben vote. I would argue that Chris, his big move was, I feel like Chris's big move was borderline helping to force a rock draw, knowing when to force it, when to keep his mouth shut, and basically helping to convince Abby to not play her idol. I could go on and on and on about every single winner and every single big move they said, but, yeah, Quentin definitely identified that he needed to make a big move to guarantee himself the best shot at the end against a lot of people who I think he's very well aware he loses against, just due to their nature of being bigger names, louder personalities, and bigger, I guess, just bigger players in general than him. So, sorry, I'll pass it back to you guys. Steib, if you want to say something.
Yeah. Parroting what y'all are saying and what Devin's saying in the chat. I think Quentin is a very strong 6th place in this season, and he was building his own resume. And sometimes in the game of Survivor or Survivor Wisconsin, the game just doesn't go your way, and the game has its own sort of variables. And sometimes it may not work out for you as well as it works out for somebody else. And I think, yeah, Quentin is absolutely somebody who was able to make moves of his own. And whether that caught him in the ire of other tribe mates is another thing. But yeah, you got to be able to make those risks. So yeah, shout out to Quentin.
Yeah, we do have a really fun kind of group of 6th placers. I believe. That's kind of funny. Yeah,
I think was Ben
where
the 6th placer.
Big time player kind of falls flat in our seasons.
Yeah, like 6th place. I mean, big examples of others in the 6th place club. I know Ben from last season, Caitlin from One World 2, who Devin and I at the time pretty much argued had a great chance getting further on to the game and possibly getting to the end.
Yeah.
Just due to how quiet of a figure she was, but also playing a decently social strategic game. Definitely more passive than some of the other players there, but far from being just a follower that season. Like Caitlin, I think, definitely had her own game she was trying to play up. You definitely, Captain's Curse, you're my favorite.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I was 6th place.
Hell yeah, you were.
Yeah, you forgot that. Yeah, you're my favorite 6th placer, but you know that. Evolution, Emma, massive big player.
Yep.
Even though Evolution was kind of de-evolution, but that's a different story. Devin actually coined. I will give Devin that. Devin was one who I will credit to calling Evolution de-evolution. So I forgot what round it was, but Captain or Summer Solstice. I should remember this. I swear there's gonna be some trivia challenge with this.
Was it
Kyle Shield twice in a
Kyle.
row, Cabin Fever and Summer Solstice. Before that, it was Brienne. I could go on and on and on, but we beat her all day.
Yeah, we have a lot of really good 6th place finishers, and it's all just because they just kind of
that's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
They just kind of struck too early and then kind of fell flat. Which, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. There was a lot of very strong players, even shown tonight and even shown in our past seasons with people who got in 6th place. And I definitely think it'd be a great way to honor player of the episode by talking about our strong players left in the game and talking about who is the strongest player of the episode. I'll go first because I kind of feel like it's Jimmy. I mean, Sam plays an idol, I feel like, and when he doesn't really need to play the idol. I mean, I definitely love his reveal, and it was such a fun moment, but Sam even kind of bringing that out. I mean, he was never really at risk, and I do get the paranoia of it, but it's like, I mean, Sam and Joe kind of waste their idols, and Joe very clearly at one point, I remember, was even saying when they were trying to talk, I think it was Nolan and Vince are trying to talk to him, or Nolan and Quentin. Nolan's trying to talk to Joe about what he wants to do and of like he's interested in working with people. And Vince flat out tells him like, "Well, I'm at the bottom." And is basically like almost turning away an offer where I feel like Nolan was clearly trying to work with him, which I feel like could spell trouble for Joe if he doesn't win immunity in the next episode. Who really knows? I mean, and again, Nolan and Vince really didn't have a lot of control because they were kind of forced to go on the outs, like, and had to vote Quentin out when they clearly didn't want to. So, I mean,
yep.
I kind of feel like by default, the player of the episode is Jimmy, who I do think has a very strong episode and kind of knows what's going on. So, I mean,
yeah,
that's what I think it is. So, what do you guys think? Aleks, I'll give it off. give it off to you first.
Well, let's actually do Steib because we've not given Steib an early vote in this stuff yet, really.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll go second. Yeah. No, it's tough because of the 5 remaining players. You could really make a case for practically any of them, whether it's holding on to an advantage and saving it for the right time, or whether it's somebody managing their social relationships well enough to be able to orchestrate these moves to make it further in the game. But I'm gonna go ahead and copy Richie. I think King James is also gonna be my player of the episode. He's won back-to-back challenges. He's an absolute social mastermind. He's got plenty of good relationships, and he's sitting pretty going into the top 5, which is absolutely where you want to be, as opposed to me, who was sitting at the bottom on top 5. But yes, he's my player of the episode.
I am not going to give the sweep to Jimmy.
Fair.
I am going to go with a player who, again, has been under the radar. I'm sure he's gotten votes to his name, but he now has a 1 in 5 shot of winning the next immunity challenge, which he is going to need, and that's Joe. Joe has done such a good job in this post-merge, again, being the last flame who's standing, kind of weaving himself into this majority chaos tribe, and still managing to survive with an idol he's saved until this round. So I'm gonna go with Joe because I have not given Joe his flowers in a while, and I've given Jimmy his flowers already. So yeah. Sorry, Jimmy.
Hell yeah, I'm glad you're giving Joe flowers. Yeah.
Alex, he's gonna tell you that's like 50 Hail Marys for you to do, so
yeah, let me just get on the ground and pray.
Yeah, I can make you pray.
I might need to confess to Jimmy now.
You can confess a couple things
okay.
to me later.
We're good now.
Okay. He said in the chat, "I forgive you." Yeah,
that was great timing. That was fucking great timing.
That was great timing. Okay, jokes aside, I think we should get to viewer questions now. So you guys can ask us anything about what we heard in the intro to this episode from Devin. You can ask us about anything from everything up to this point of Calm versus Chaos. You can ask us about our past seasons even and what we think about stuff. We want to hear some questions.
Yes. We are dry today in the comments, but it's fine,
Well, we'll give it
it's short. It's a short episode. We're good. We're all good.
Yeah, Richie, what is your gameplay? I knew I should have said too much about it.
Oh boy.
What is your game plan for heroes versus villains?
Not
to be voted out first. I'll say that. Not to be voted out first. Alex?
Don't say the wrong things.
Okay, seriously, I just want the jury this time. I will talk a big game and just be the bitch in confessionals because that's who I am. I like to give the Jim Halper look at the camera, but everyone gets so mad at me for that I'm like, I just want to have a good time. I want to make friends and get to know people. No one lets me do that. So it's like, I just want to have a good time.
With everybody.
And I just want the jury. I want the jury. So that's all. I just want the jury. If I'm on the jury, I'll be happy. So,
There. Dan's got a better
me card. Podium is all I need. And that podium's jury.
Okay, so Jimmy asks, is it a mistake for Joe to play his idol as a big threat going into Final 5, or is it better safe than sorry? I mean, you guys might have your own opinions on this. I'll pass off to you guys in a minute. I think it's kind of I do get why Joe plays it. He did hear his name come up. I think he did have that assumption that Vivesse was going to stick together, especially considering the fact that it's up to that point, 3 of the first 4 jurors were Flemu and not Vivesse. So I definitely don't blame Joe for playing it. But I do think it's a massive fuck up on his part, which I do feel bad seeing that because Joe's a really nice guy, but it reminds me of Winter War, where Adam and Seth both played their idols at the Final 5. And then the next episode, Adam, the biggest threat going into the finale of that season, basically was like, oh shit, I'm about to go out the door. So is Joe going to be in that Adam spot, or is he going to find a way to survive? Who really knows? You'll have to find out next episode. But I do think it's a mistake. So I pass off to you two to tell your thoughts on this.
So looking back on it, yeah, mistake, of course. Shit happens. But in the game, I do agree. Like, you are the last flame who's standing, and you have heard your name being thrown out there by everybody this whole merge. So I don't blame him with playing his idol this round. I'm more interested in why Sam played his idol still.
Well,
Like,
because he's paranoid. I kind of feel like that's what we've
I
heard
guess
on this.
I know it makes sense why he was paranoid, but he still has a lot of allies in this game still. Like, the whole thing was the whole thing this round was, who are we taking to final three? Sam has had a final three deal with Nolan and Vinny, Jimmy and Joe, and like, Sam was sitting pretty going into this vote. So I'm shocked he played his idol there, just because of how the numbers kind of lay, and knowing Quentin and Joe are going to be getting votes. So that's just kind of how I see it. Like, Joe makes sense. Sam, not really in my eyes. I would have held it for one more round, and use it, at 5, and that's the last round you can use it. So, but it's fine. It's all in the past now, and yeah.
Yeah. As far as what I'd say Joe playing his idol is absolutely the right move. As y'all said, being towards the bottom of a majority Vivace merge tribe, certainly not sitting in the best position. And as we saw in the episode, despite his calm demeanor, it was really a choice between Quentin and Joe being on the bottom of the 6. So I absolutely think it was fair for Joe to play his idol to not only stay safe, but also to make a case for himself if he were to potentially make it to a top 3, final 3. And for him to be able to say, hey, I found an idol and I was able to secure my spot in top 5 when I had voted in my name, I think it's absolutely the right move for Joe. As far as Sam, yeah, I think that one can be debated quite a bit. He was sitting in a very comfortable position, and arguably he probably, being a fan of the game, he probably could have taken home the idol as like a little trinket, like some people do, like those people who don't use them, or those people who could have used them, but then they get sent home with them anyway. So yeah, no, I think we made very good points here. Good question. Good question, King James.
Good question, Jimmy.
There was another question.
I know. I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to these questions in a second. Devin says episode titles, almost a lone wolf has found a little pack baby, and like, that's pretty much a fun one. I think that's a very fun title too, like, it's Jimmy.
Shout out to the wolf pack.
Yep.
Dan asks, Richie, how will you incorporate your communications major into your strategy? I will bitch about all of you in confessionals. How about that, Dan? That's how I plan to use my comm major. Okay, I've had like 8 seasons.
Yeah, Dan, for 2 episodes,
I always get voted off like early on. So like, I clearly don't think I'm gonna be able to incorporate it in the way I think I will. So I'm literally just gonna sit there and hope that people want to play with me this time around. And like, I'll be like the Courtney Yates of the season. I'll just be like, I don't know.
Fair enough.
All right, Devin asks, out of my reveals tonight, what were your guys' favorite ones? I do want to say this first because, I mean, obviously there's heroes versus villains for me, obviously. But I have to say one of my favorite reveals was the fact that there is some potential Whitewater people in the mix for a second chance. Despite what a lot of people think, I do still think there are some people from the Whitewater era who I would love to see back one more time for a second chance season. I don't want to say names just on the off chance that I accidentally guessed correctly on who I think could be on, but there's a lot of Whitewater names that I would love to see back at least one more time, who I really do honestly think have potential, whether they made it far or were very early boots. The fact that there's any Whitewaters in the mix for a second chance is really fun for me because there's so many people I know we've been wanting to see back for such a long time. So, yeah, Aleks, Steib, what were your guys' favorite reveals that Devin had tonight?
One of the reveals that I might have a chance to come back sooner or later. That's pretty cool, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been with you for years, so
I don't know which season, but like, hey,
hit up your boy.
One's more than none. I'll take it.
Yes. I'd just like to say thank you, Devin, for joining us tonight. It was a shorter episode, so we were glad you were able to join us, and we were especially glad you were able to reveal so much about the bright future of this game. And it's very exciting times. Of course, we're all excited to see Richie play again. So, of course, we're wishing him the best, and he better not fuck shit up. But as far as my reveal, my favorite reveal, it would probably, I don't know if Jimmy's asking something. My favorite reveal, that's tough. Yeah, going back to what you said, Richie, there was plenty of other people that have played past seasons of Survivor Whitewater that actually do fit the criteria of have only played once. And there absolutely is potential there for some older names to come back and have another shot at the game. And that's another way to plug our older seasons. Before we were Wisconsin, we were Survivor Whitewater. Please go check those out as well. Thank you.
Check them out. Go check out. You guys want to watch like the 2 seasons I actually did decently in? Go watch them. Like they're actually pretty fun seasons. So yeah, I mean I'm gonna throw one name out there and random that I assume will not be on, but Grant from Blood vs. Water, someone who I'd love to see back on. I mean, Grant was a pretty interesting character. I think he had a lot of potential. So, I mean, Grant's definitely someone who I'd love to see come back on. I think I've definitely talked into depth with so many other people that I'd want to see on from the Whitewater era. But, like, yeah, I'd be surprised. I think Grant's still in, like, college or something. So, I'd be surprised if he came back. But I could be wrong. Maybe he will be back. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, can you pull up that question from Jimmy? Not the most recent one.
Find it. Yeah, I'll do that. And there's a question right above I need to get to. Jimmy asks, Steib, are you wanting to come back or are you retired?
I've actually said in the past, back on the little reunion for season 5, and I've said it a few times on the breakdowns here with y'all. I absolutely do want to play again, and I absolutely would love another shot at this game. I'm not sure exactly where Devin and or Christian would like to see me fit into future plans. I'm open to anything. I haven't gotten any offers potential of like anything like that. So I'm keeping the channels open though. But no, I would not say I'm finished. Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Heard it here first.
Devin asks, out of all of the people who have been eliminated so far, what person each do you want to see in second chance the most?
Oh, big question.
Okay.
Do we want to do like 2 people each or 1 person each? Like, how do you guys want to do this question?
I'm just doing 1 person. I'm not giving more than 1.
We want to do like 1 different person each then? Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I'll go last.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first, Steib, or do you want to go first?
You can go first. Oh.
I can go first?
Yeah, no, Steib's first now.
Okay.
All right, fine. I'll go first. Why not? I think it's fair to absolutely pick this person. At being somebody who was a first boot, Richie also understands what it's like to be a first boot. It's not a good feeling. And ultimately, going back to what I said about Quentin, some things are just out of your control. And sometimes you just don't gel in the right way with your tribe mates that you're dealt. Or sometimes you trip up in a challenge and it costs your team, or like maybe that's just what they perceive at least. I absolutely would love to see Joey come back. Being the first one out, it was unfortunate to see because it looked like he really had a lot more to offer to this game that we play. And we also saw him play very well in the Outcast Challenge to try and get that shot back in. And we saw him try to speak to his Outcast tribe mates and try to get back into the game. He's definitely somebody I would like to see get another shot one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. For me, it's really a tie between 2 people. It's a tie between 2 people, but there is like one person who I feel like didn't really get the chance to play that far, and the other person at least made it decently far. So I'm gonna go with the person who didn't go as far, and my person's Nick. I'd love to see Nick. If there's people who have been eliminated this season who get a chance to come back in the second chance, I would love it to be Nick. I think Nick has so much potential to show, and I would honestly love to see him play again, you know? Like, I would really be rooting for him from the sidelines and being like, let's go. So, you know. Yeah. Aleks?
Yeah. My choice was also Nick, but I'll change my choice. But I do want to say, he is a rookie to, the LRG community. So like this is like first one he's done, and again, there's a lot of potential there as well, and we saw it in the game as well. So like it would be really cool to have him on a second chance season. Who do I want? Someone that's been voted out that played very under the rare game that right now is on the jury. I'm taking Jake Abbott.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
He was within every single alliance on the old Falemu tribe, and that's what there is what got him to the merge. And with that tight four person tribal at the old Falemu, he was the one that was like kind of like the most safe-ish. Like he was with Jamil, and like sure, like I think he got a vote, but like he did such a good job of trying to get players to his side post merge, and he did a lot of groundwork with how little he had in the merge. So I would love to see Jake back in the game.
Yeah,
that's a good pick. Hell yes.
Good pick. Yeah, I definitely would love to see Jake come. If we ever do second chances too. Second chances 2 would be such a fun
year
season.
2030.
What?
season 28.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, there's another question. Jimmy asks, who of the Whitewater OGs do you want to see for heroes versus villains? None of them. I mean, they all hate me, so it's like most of them hate me, so it's like they're not gonna want to play with me. I try to play with them, but they all shit on me. Like, go watch Legends. Like, they all shit on me. Like, they all hate me. They don't talk to me.
One person that
don't talk to me. Like,
I think not.
Actually, sorry.
Yeah, this is not a therapy session here. One person we've not seen in a hot minute is Jake Harris. I would love to see him.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Jake back. Actually,
a lot of people are out of college and they're like they have jobs. They're more mature now, so they can actually like play the game and not like totally be like complete dicks about it and stuff like that. Of course, and Jake Harris, he's a really good guy out of the game, and I feel like he would be a really good player for HVV. And like I'll love to see him play again.
I think that's absolutely a good choice. Richie, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to say, like, if there was one person who's not on the retired list who I would like to see back, I mean, I wouldn't mind being with Kyle Shield. I was gonna say Kyle Shield, but I remember he's retired now. So, I mean, maybe I would say Dolphin Sam. I think he'd be fun to play the game with. We never really get to play the game with each other because we're always on like opposite ends. So, I don't know. Most of the Whitewater people don't like me, so it's like there's some that I'm very good friends with and others who I feel like would rather stab their eyes out than talk to me. So,
and people and those that may like you also, some of them are also retired like fully, and they've been open about that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I will say that. Yeah, sorry, I just want to like reference that for people. I start getting like texts tonight about it. Like there are some people from Whitewater who are very nice, and I actually do have a lot of very great people who I do know from the Whitewater series. And there are some people who I know like have never liked me. And then when I heard some stuff they said, I was like, ow, that genuinely hurts. So let me present. I don't mean like everyone. I like to make jokes about it here and there. So that's kind of more what I meant by that. So I'm just referencing that so I don't get like spam the next episode. I'm moving on to you guys. I don't really want to talk too much about this question.
Yeah, I'll go next. I've talked about potentially working with this person in a Dream Alliance in the past on one of the past breakdowns for one of the last seasons. And I think this person would absolutely fit the villain tribe. They were actually already in the chat earlier. I'm not sure if they're still around, but of course I would love to see Matt Essman, Matty Ice play again. Are you kidding me? Survivor Matt season 6. That was so entertaining to see him go on his little rampage of just. Yeah. he was quite the character of that season. And he was a villain, and I would love to see him play again. He said he was considering retirement, but I think we were able to like try to talk him out of it.
Every time he plays, he's considering retirement. So like,
yeah.
I mean, I mean, Matt was from Wisconsin one. He was in the Whitewater series though, but I mean, you do you.
I considered retirement after the first time I was first booted, but in this game of Survivor, never say never, right?
Yeah, I briefly considered retirement after Evolution, but then I was like, after like I had like an hour to like breathe, I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. I want to come back after like a year just to piss off some people. So,
Oh, Nick
yeah,
is a good question, actually.
That's a good question.
I'll do that. And then there was another question, some other questions I want to go back up to. Nick says, I know Richie just sent an LRG a week ago, but for Aleks and Steib, would you guys consider branching out of Survivor Wisconsin and go to a different state to play?
Yeah. I would do it solo, though, because, I don't want any outside forces. But, yeah, I feel like I would do decent in a game where I don't know anybody and that I can just play my own game. And because, people can dig up and find my back-to-back seasons, and they're not going to get anything from it, really. But, like, if they really want to dig, like, I had, like, one good season. But I feel like a clean slate where I don't know anybody, I can make a good run for it. And I've learned from my mistakes, and I know what I need to do in games to really figure out what is the best way to, make it far in the game. And I feel like, it's time for me to play a game that's, of course, not, of course, within people where I know. Because, like, if I play, like, a season in this, version featured on the line, like, I know a lot of people, of course, because I've filmed a lot of people, of course, so like they kind of know my game and I know their game, so it'll be a bit hard to really get a clean, fresh slate. But if I play a game outside of states, like say like Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, or even like further out east or west, like I can do probably a better job of making bonds and there's really no like outside forces really interjecting with my game, really.
Well, I know a guy, just in case you're wondering. So, I have some connections.
I'm not playing Midwestern Survivor, so he's right out of the question.
Who says I would be playing with you, Bit?
I think that's a fantastic question, Nick. And honestly, I've got to admit, prior to our last season, New Blood, I've got to admit I was pretty ignorant of how many different LRGs there are out there for types of games like this. And the more times that I've done Survivor Whitewater / Wisconsin, the better it's gotten each time. And for the most part. And I've got to say, I've definitely expanded my knowledge of some other LRGs. I haven't applied for anything yet, but that's absolutely something I've been considering a lot lately, whether it's something out of the state or perhaps something like in this state elsewhere. Like, I don't know, like there's plenty of opportunities out there, and I absolutely would love to take those opportunities when I can. So yeah, I think I got to look into some of that stuff.
Okay. We do got a funny question from Dan that he's been waiting 10 minutes for us to answer. What if we had a season where every contestant was named some form of Aleks?
I think that's cinema.
That would be find 16 people with the name Aleks, or Alexa, maybe even.
Yes.
No, don't say it. My thing's gonna go off. Don't say that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
That would be insane.
That would be funny.
We could probably pull it off.
Voting would be a bitch and a half.
Yeah, voting would be terrible. No, not you, Aleks. You, Aleks.
Yeah, no.
Aleks? No, Nelson.
Which Aleks are we voting out here?
Yeah. We're like wristbands and be like, oh yeah, green Aleks.
Yeah.
Pink Aleks. Oh wait, that's both of you. Shit.
Yeah.
Devin asks, feel like Big Brother gameplay style for one round of our Survivor game would be epic. What are your thoughts? I literally had that gut instinct. Like, literally last night, I was thinking, like, this is, like, I'm not even joking. Like, I think I actually am psychic, you guys. I actually was thinking this last night, like, as a joke. Like, why I feel like this is going to happen. Like,
I would love to see that. Again, it's mainly just time strain, because it would take a while, I guess. You have an NHOH challenge, a veto challenge, and then you, of course, have nominations as well. So like it time frame would be kind of hard to mix in. But like it'll be easy probably to do. It's just, again, time is my biggest fear with that.
Yeah.
That'll be really fucking fun to do as well.
Yeah. No. Honestly, by the time that I was watching Survivor at a young age, I was also watching a lot of Big Brother, and it's a very fun show in its own ways. And I think if we were to take elements from that in a way, I think that could be fun. If I don't know, if we were to like necessarily play Big Brother, it would be a lot more bells and whistles, a lot more competitions, but it absolutely could be. It could be looked at, and we could take elements from it, and we could absolutely put it into our show. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think a Big Brother round in Survivor would actually be really fun to watch, though, because I mean, it depends on if idols could be utilized too, because in Big Brother they don't have idols, so I mean that would be really interesting. So
yeah,
power of veto.
Jimmy asks, Traders Wisconsin when? Maybe someday. I actually a few years ago was thinking about trying to do a Traders allergy, but like I had no idea of what to do with it. I definitely thought of that though. So I mean,
I gotta watch it now because they won an Emmy over Survivor, which good. That season,
Traders?
This season
I've been trying to get you to watch Traders for 2 years now. Are you actually shitting me? Now you're gonna watch it because they win an Emmy?
I'm watching alone.
I haven't watched it myself either, but I've heard good things as well.
But now just because they won an Emmy.
You are such a fucking poser that it's not even funny. You're such a little bitch. You know that.
Kettle up, rich dog.
Yeah, no, Traders. Yeah, I agree with Jimmy. Traders is so good. Dan agrees with me. Sorry, I don't want to take over, but like Traders is such a fun game. But like,
true. Plus, my favorite Big Brother player was also on it as well. So,
who's that? Who's your favorite?
Derek.
Oh, the undercover cop.
Oh, yeah, dude, he plays such a good game.
Yeah, I loved his season. My favorite Big Brother player's got to be Dan Giesling.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's up in my top 3 for sure.
Yeah,
I know that Ian Terry is going to be on that season of Traders that's airing next year, so I'm very excited for that. I love Ian.
Dan, don't ever say that ever.
That's right. You don't like Ian.
Yeah, you don't like Siri.
Yeah, no. Dan, my top 3 is first, of course, Dr. Will, Derek, and then Dan. Just because Derek just destroyed and just really just did a lot of good under the radar gameplay, and I'm a big fan of under the radar gameplay, and as you've seen, my praise for that. But yeah, like those 3 players have played the best Big Brother games in my opinion for sure.
Yeah, honestly, like with Big Brother 2, like I think like Devin and I a couple of years ago, we briefly for like I think like a couple hours or something, low key thought about Andy Herron's Big Brother 15. How it was pushed. Anyways, no, we briefly talked about like if like it would ever be possible to do like a Big Brother allergy, but like we were never sure about it. So it's like I don't know. It was so long ago. I would be surprised. I almost forgot it, to be honest. I'd be surprised if anyone else remembered that. But like we talked, I think it was like an hour, like 2 years ago. So like,
all right.
I don't know.
On that note, is there any other questions before we wrap up? Because we do we still have a teaser for.
Yeah, there is a teaser for next episode. I'll give like 15 seconds. 15 seconds while I find the preview for the finale.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Towards, of course, for Andy's win because he knows Andy. Again,
he should have won Big Brother.
Any other season Andy's on, I'll be fine. But of course, he was on the one season where it's like, yeah, that sucks.
Who should have won but came close? Paul. I think it was season 21 when he lost to Josh. I was fucking man. I was raging on Twitter. I hated watching Josh. I thought he was just an absolute annoying prick. And when Paul got second place for the second time, I was pissed.
I was more pissed Paul didn't win the first time he played. Devin giving Nicole the win and then and then regretting it as well. It's such a
justice
funny
for Rachel.
Statement.
Justice for Rachel Riley. How do you feel about that, Aleks?
She calls herself a competition threat and then loses a competition that
Rachel.
Like, she really calls herself iconic and then gets loses a challenge like that. Like, come on. Come on. You call yourself a huge competition beast and you lose like that. Pathetic.
Like, Big Brother's fun. We could have like a whole different like time where we can like talk about that. Cause like maybe we'll do it on my personal YouTube channel. We'll have like where people can just ask us what we think about just like Survivor Big Brother in general. So.
I feel like if we incorporate the Big Brother thing, it should be the second round after the merge. I feel like that'd be the best time to do it.
Yeah. Well, would
the
we
first round would be too soon, I feel like.
Blockbuster, though?
We wouldn't do a Blockbuster at all.
I love that though. I actually do love the Blockbuster.
It's good.
We gotta bring this. We gotta bring the slop. We need slop if we're doing Big Brother. Somebody's got to eat slop. I'm sorry.
I have not for 1 hour basically.
For 30 minutes.
For 1 hour.
No, that
you have to eat.
Who can eat the most slop in like the shortest amount
Whoever
of time?
eats a bowl the quickest.
Well, we don't want our players getting sick.
Yeah, as far as I heard, it's basically flavorless oatmeal.
Sorry.
You were saying?
I was saying, like, I've said it's the last several seasons. We can't coddle these players, and since the last Gross Food Challenge didn't do so good, if I ever brought it back and did, like, a Big Brother round, it's like...
Yeah, no, we can take risks like that because, I mean, other LRGs do it. Like I said, I'm looking into all these other LRGs that are multiple days and people are actually sleeping outside. Like, man, there is a lot we could theoretically do.
Yeah, we have to have a conversation later because I think I have a suspicion. All
right.
I'm joking. Yeah. Okay. So
let's read the teaser and then call it a day.
Yeah.
I was reading this thing. I do think that's really cool, Jimmy. That is really cool. Tell me about the.
I gotta look up SPF.
Me too. All right. So next episode is the finale. It will air out next Tuesday. It will air out next Tuesday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. It will be followed by the live breakdown, where we may be joined by a special guest that night. Might not be who you think it is, though. And here is the preview you get for the finale. 5 remain as they battle it out through balance and precision, as one will ultimately become our next sole survivor. So, Taylor, you got about 5 days as reigning champ before your throne is taken by someone else. So
somebody's gonna take the crown. We'll find out Tuesday.
Yeah, and it actually can't be me yet, and it can't be them either. So
All right.
On that note. All right. Yeah. So very glad you guys all came out tonight. Again, the next episode is gonna be Tuesday. 6 p.m. is the finale. We're very glad to see you guys all came out tonight. We're very glad to see it. And I've been your host, Richie. I've been here with my co-host tonight.
I'm Aleks.
I'm also Aleks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Tuesday.
Like and subscribe to the channel. Watch all of our past episodes and past seasons. Stay tuned for the reunion, the finale, second chance reveal, and more. All coming within the coming weeks and fan voting as well. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great night.
See ya.